Okay, hello YouTube. This is honing in on the last month that this reef is going to be up and running and have everything thriving. So I thought I'd give you guys an up-close tour on everything I have in here, minus the coral banded shrimp, because no matter how hard I try, I cannot get him to come out. I think the tank's too small for him. I heard that that they need to walk around so their whiskers don't get touched, but I think this tank's too small. I think no matter where he walks, his whiskers are touching something. But other than that, I will give you a close-up tour from everything I have in here, starting with right here. This coral is known commonly as a daisy star polyp, but its real name is a jasmine polyp, and it's doing really well. It's about double the size it was when I got it. The flowers are much longer, much bigger, much more full of color. Next up here is the frog spawn coral. This guy I was worried about forever. He really worried me. He didn't open up for about 3 months, and then he finally opened up. I finally got the flow just right around him so that he's happy. In the back there, in the reflection, and kind of behind the frog spawn, you can see my bubble coral. And this was the coral I was most scared to put in here because I've heard that they're super sensitive and they're really picky. So I did the best I could, did the most research. I put it in the place where I thought it would be happy, and it seems to be thriving. Let's go up onto the top shelf here. This is my Xenia. If you guys go back to my day 21 update, you can see that this Xenia is 3 times the size as it was before. You can actually see that it's beginning to disconnect right there, so that's really exciting. It's going to make another Xenia, and I've heard these things are like weeds. Once you get them growing, they don't stop growing, but I think I might just make that whole rock it's on an Xenia rock and then put that somewhere so it doesn't, maybe put it in the sand. Moving on, this is my Seriatopora, commonly known as a bird's nest coral. This coral gives like a really fuzzy appearance. It's actually a really beautiful coral to watch. You can see all those polyps moving around, and it is actually about double the size as well. If you go back to that same 21-day update, it's probably about the same size as this stalk in the front here. That's how big it was when I got it. Now it's that whole stalk there. And let's move up to the back here. These two in the back. This green coral that where's my finger? That I thought was a green star polyp coral is actually a galaxy coral, and I had no idea because I've heard of short tentacled green star polyp corals. That's what I thought it was. But then I saw this super long sweeper tentacle, and I was like, "What is that?" I didn't know polyps had it, so I looked it up. And it turns out this is actually a galaxy coral. So, all those videos in the past 90 days, I have been wrong naming that coral, and I feel really bad about it because I didn't know what it was actually called. And up in the back corner here is my candy cane coral, Calustria forcata or something like that. And this coral I was so worried about when I first got it. Didn't open up, didn't seem to be happy at all, but I finally got it going and it's happy, and I actually got the other 2 mouths to show their feeding tentacles and actually fed them brine shrimp, so that was exciting for me because usually it's only the one on the left that gets fed, but now the 2 on the right are actually beginning to feed as well. In between the torch and the candy cane coral is my Ganoepora. Ganoepora. I can't pronounce that one no matter how hard I try. There's 2 types of corals that look very similar to each other. There's an Elevapora and a Ganoepora, which is this one. And I've heard bad things about the Elevapora, that it's very sensitive and it will appear to be thriving, then it'll just die off. This one's doing really well. I've had it for about 2 months now, and it's really thriving. So if you're looking at flower pot corals, which is their common name, make sure you get the Ganoepora, or the one with the G, because the Elevaporas I've heard nothing but, oh, they're really iffy to take care of. But let's move on to my Wesophilia. This coral is probably my hands down coolest coral to watch grow in my tank. When I first got it, it was about, let's see this Aptasia bottle, Aptasia RX bottle. that's probably how big it was. If you laid it sideways and set it on the sand, that's how big it was. And in the matter of days, it inflated to this monster brain coral. And at night, you can see it shrivel right back down. So I mean, it is happy and it's inflating and it's thriving. I mean, there's no rips or there's no color decay. So at first, I thought it was blowing up because it wanted to move, but I noticed that its color wasn't changing and it wasn't showing any signs of stress. So I actually left it there, and actually now one of my clownfish hosts it. So I bet you if we watch this coral long enough, we can see my clownfish swim down and host it. But if that takes too long, then I'll just move on to the torch coral. They're being picky now. So I'll just keep that one in view so if you guys can see it. These last two corals are hands down my favorite corals in the tank. My plate coral, it was probably the most expensive coral I have in here. It was $90, and I've heard nothing but they need really high light and they need a lot of food and they're hard to keep care of. But mine is doing so well, and I'm so glad that it's doing well. That it has the honor of the front spot in the tank. It's the first thing you see when you walk in here, other than this monster torch coral. But I really like this coral because it's really cool to watch it grab. So if you took a piece of mysis shrimp and put it right here, you could watch it travel from one tentacle on the outside to the next tentacle, and then it'll lean over and travel to the next tentacle, and then it'll put it in its mouth. And it is probably the coolest process I've ever seen. It's really cool to watch. My torch coral I think it'll always be my favorite coral in here, purely because it was my first one. I mean, my first coral in here. If you go back to my first coral video where I don't talk, you can see how little that coral really is, and it really is a beautiful coral. You can see my clownfish is now hosting the Wesophilia in the corner over there, if you notice. The torch coral adds so much movement to the tank, and it's so pretty to watch. And I really want to give it a nice dominating spot in the 29-gallon. It'll probably be the first coral moved over, purely because it was first in this one. It's going to be the first in the next one. Yeah, so this is my close-up tour. Other than that, there's fish. But you guys know my fish. You guys know Mo and Joe, my clownfish, and my damsels that are kind of flying around, getting lost in the blue light. A bunch of inverts, and my diamond goby. You guys know Larry, the diamond goby. He has his own video. And lastly, my feather duster. Wrap this video up real quick here because I'm running out of battery. My dad's favorite thing in the tank was those little feather dusters, so I went out and got him a big one, and he loves it now. So that's the last thing that I could show you. This is my Nano Reef close-up tour. So if you guys have any questions on these corals, let me know. I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. Make sure if you like this video, make sure you like it. If you have something to comment. I like reading comments and I like getting concerns. I'm looking for request videos so I can give shout outs, and that's about it for this tour video. Good luck with your guys' reefs. I'm hearing some big plans about starting reefs, so keep me posted because I like knowing what you guys are up to too. So that being said, I will see you guys later.